Whenever we read books about human behavior, about psychology, about lifestyle, you constantly find the following as an integral part of how they go about developing these strategies and these methods of living. And that variable is this notion that human beings evolved. We were once animals and we evolved from animals. And why is this significant? Because it is from that perspective, these individuals create an idea or an image of what the human being really is. And according to them, the human being is an animal. And it is natural for the human being to behave the way an animal behaves. Well, when you look at animals, how do animals behave? They behave purely on instinct, desire driven. When they're hungry, they eat. When they're tired, they sleep. That's it. They have no higher form of intelligence to determine whether eating more is better. That, okay, I might be feeling the want to eat or the desire to eat. Should I eat? Does that mean should I eat or what should I eat? To them, I'm hungry, therefore I eat. What I eat doesn't matter. No higher form of intelligence. And so for a Muslim, this is extremely problematic because in the mind of the Muslim, we didn't evolve from animals. We're not animals. We're not like animals. We are a biological being, but we are not like animals because we have a higher sense of morality. We have rationale that allows us to determine what is right and what is wrong, to determine whether my desires that I'm currently experiencing should be satisfied or shouldn't be. And so Ali radiallahu ta'ala an provides us with a golden wisdom. He says, "Man karumat alayhi nafsuh, hanat alayhi shahawatuh." Whoever feels a sense of dignity in themselves, then their desires will be minimized. Their desires will become secondary in their mind. What is he saying here? What he's saying here is desires have the tendency to cause the individual to degrade themselves, especially if those desires are haram desires. You look at the world today, people do simply because they feel. I feel this, therefore I want to do it. And anything that comes to stop them, like a parent or the law, they lash out and they rebel against it. Ali radiallahu ta'ala an says the root of that problem is our dignity has been lost. Our sense of dignity has been lost. And losing a sense of dignity cannot but be correlated with losing self-esteem. When you see the way people behave today, why do you do this? Knowing that it is wrong. When a person who is a respectable, decent individual drinks alcohol and becomes intoxicated by the alcohol, they begin to behave like scoundrels, like animals. Why do you do that to yourself? I don't know, it's a social thing. Well, if you dignify yourself, you look at yourself with a sense of dignity. I can't do that to myself because that goes against the way I view myself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. We have given the child of Adam dignity. So when the Muslim looks at him or herself in the mirror, they see that a creation of Allah, I have been created by Allah. Allah only creates that which is dignified. And by doing that which is haram and living a lifestyle or having the mindset of satisfying every desire that I feel, that goes against the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created me. Hence fasting, dear brothers and sisters. We're in the month of Ramadan. One of the functions of Ramadan is to teach you and to show you just because you feel a desire for something does not mean you should answer that call. Umar radiallahu ta'ala an says something very beautiful. أَوَ كُلَّمَا اشْتَهَيْتَ اشْتَرَيْتَ. He tells somebody, advising them, just because you feel the desire for something doesn't mean you should buy it. And so we, dear brothers and sisters, need to develop a greater, higher sense of dignity. That we as human beings are dignified. And doing that which is haram goes against that dignity. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَن يُهِنِ اللَّهُ فَمَا لَهُ مِن مُكْرِمٍ. If you go against the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you live a life that ignores, sidelines Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the person will fall into behaviors that go against their dignity. And then they will be in a state of, being lesser than what they're supposed to be. Ali radiallahu ta'ala teaches us to develop a sense of self-esteem by understanding your self-worth. And your self-worth comes from the fact that you were created by Allah. And on top of that, that your actions mean more than simply, is it allowed or not? The way you behave has an impact on you, on your identity, on your dignity. And unfortunately, most people today live a lifestyle that takes away from their dignity. Whereas a Muslim who submits to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lives a lifestyle that bolsters and preserves their dignity. So look at your acts of worship, from salah to zakah, to fasting, to hajj and umrah, to helping somebody in need, to smiling to somebody, as things that preserve and bolster your dignity. And when you feel dignified, you feel a sense of self-esteem. And when you feel that sense of self-esteem, you're able to develop an identity that you're proud of. And when you have all of these within your mind, within yourself, then how can you succumb to a lot of the difficulties of our time today, like mental health or feeling of purposelessness, among other things? So, if you want to stay away from sins, you need to understand that sins and desires take away from your dignity. And the most effective way, dear brothers and sisters, or at least one of the most effective ways of staying away from sin, is becoming disgusted by those sins. When you study the harms of alcohol and what it does to you, you develop a sense of disgust for it. And if you're disgusted by it, you don't want to do it. And so, dear brothers and sisters, the more we can feel that pride and that dignity for being a creation of Allah, and the more we feel disgusted by the acts and the actions that take away from my dignity, the more, inshallah, we can be a person who's upright and stays away from the things that are harmful to them. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for watching this video. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. If you found benefit in this video, then please like it, share with other people, and remind you of the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, whoever guides somebody to good, then they get the reward of those who do that good, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. See you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum.